Nasa ating pong StreamYard si Consul General Emilio Hernandez ng ating po namang Philippine Consulate in Hawaii. Napaka-importante po ng panayam na ito. Magandang umaga po, Consul.
Magandang umaga po.
Opo, Ted Filon here and DJ Chach, and thank you for your time. Consul, gusto lang ho namin liwanagin, dito po sa lugar na kung saan po nagkaroon nga ng malawak po na wildfire, meron ho bang actual na record rito ang konsulada sa dami ho ng mga Filipino, as in Filipino, na meron pong Philippine passport o iba pa ho yung mga Filipino ho na mga Amerikano na ho ngayon?
Yes. Well, itong Hawaii has a population of approximately 1.4 million. Of that figure, it's estimated na sa mga 20% sumagot dito sa US Census survey na meron silang Filipino ethnicity. Yung challenge is that itong same survey does not distinguish kung ano yung kanilang citizenship. But many of the Filipinos dito sa estado are already immigrants and US citizens, but we estimate perhaps 5% of them mga Filipino pa rin.
Opo. So dito po sa Maui, sir, meron ho bang datos kayo kung ilan po doon ang talaga pong maari, at least an accurate estimate po, more or less, ng Filipino citizens doon?
Yes. Dito sa Maui, it has a population of about 155,000 people. In that same survey, approximately close to 18% identified themselves as having of Filipino origin. Mm-hmm. So nasa 25,000 yan. But again, the challenge lies in determining kung ilan pa dyan ang mga Filipino citizen dahil marami na sa kanila ang mga immigrants.
Opo. Dito po sa reported na almost 100 casualties ngayon na actual po na nabilang ito ang aming presumption meron na ho bang Pilipino doon?
Yes. As of last count, the official tally as far as casualties is at 93. Pero ang binigay ng mga Hawaii authorities, wala yung breakdown ng kanilang ethnicity. And also there was a statement made by the Hawaii County Police Chief. Yesterday, sinabi niya he estimates that about 1,000 are still unaccounted for and missing. But again, walang breakdown yan as to ethnicity, ilan dyan ang Filipino, hindi niya masabi.
Paano ho ba ang sistema ngayon dyan pinapatupad po, sir, dito ho sa nangyaring ito? Paano po yung reporting ng mga victims po dito? Ano ho ba ang sistemang pinapatupad po ng Hawaii provincial government, state government dyan?
Yes, as far as victims are concerned, they'll undergo a process of first identifying the bodies, dahil I would think that most of them would be mga burn victims as a result of fire. And so they'll have to undergo testing, including using yung mga kanilang dental remains to ascertain yung kanilang identity. And then they identify and locate yung next of kin, inform them first before the information is made public.
Opo. So, ito hong Maui Filipino Chamber of Commerce, meron ba ho kayo ditong informasyon kung naklaro ho yung kanila pong datos tungkol dito sa mga Pilipinong may mga negosyo din po doon sa Maui?
Oh yes. Dito sa Lahaina, we have a big concentration of Filipinos as well, Filipino Americans. I think the statement made was that there are still hundreds of Filipinos missing. And ayon doon sa sinabi ng Maui County Police Chief, kung ang estimate nila sa mga 1,000, and given that 20% of the total population of Maui is of Filipino descent, then it is entirely possible na ganun pa karami ang unaccounted for.
Sir, sa ngayon po, as we speak, asan po kayo?
Nandito ho sa Honolulu.
Okay. Ano ho ang balak po ng DFA dito?
Yes.
Paano po ang magiging galaw ho ng inyong opisina concerning po sa pag-alam lang kung ano po ang sitwasyon ng mga Pilipino doon po sa Maui?
Well, number one, as soon as we heard about the incidents ng mga sunog, we immediately issued itong mga appropriate advisories, informing the public of our 24/7 emergency hotline number, and also posting yung mga credible sources of information para alam nila kung saan titingin. Number two, we are assisting callers seeking assistance to locate their loved ones sa Maui. First, we refer them to reputable organizations like the American Red Cross, but we also ask for yung complete names and details ng kanilang friends and relatives so that we could also help facilitate looking for these lost individuals. There was one Filipino based sa Pilipinas who sent us a message via Facebook kasi hindi niya mahanap yung kanyang nanay. And power and communication lines are down. But thankfully, we were eventually able to locate the mother who was staying in one of the shelters. So that's happy to inform us that they were able to already talk on the phone. And we have already also waived requirements for appointments for yung mga Maui-based Filipinos affected by the wildfires who are in need of consular services. And yesterday, I spoke to Undersecretary Ed De Vega ng DFA UMWA. Sinabi niya we could authorize emergency medical or financial assistance if subjects, those affected, are Filipino citizens and they have no other sources of funding. So they just contact us and we will facilitate the request.
Opo. Is our consulate sending someone to Maui regarding this move of the DFA, sir?
Yes, thank you for asking that, Mr. Filon. Last week, kasi naglabas ng statement yung Office of the Hawaii Governor for people not to undertake non-essential travel to Maui so they could concentrate on rescue operations and life-saving operations. Now that it seems things have cleared, I will be accompanied by 2 other staff and officers to travel there this Tuesday so we could ascertain the situation firsthand and get a better understanding sa nangyayari on the ground.
Opo. And then, sir, how difficult is it now as we speak to communicate po dito sa mga, dito ho sa Maui mismo, doon po mismo ho sa ground zero?
Still not easy. No? Marami sa kanila are staying in shelters. Just last month, there was a group of 80 Filipino teachers recruited by Hawaii's Department of Education. Doon sa 80 na yun, 50 na destino sa Maui. But through our contacts sa Department of Education ng Hawaii, we were informed that they have been accounted for, they are safe, and they're staying in shelters.
Okay. Para po sa mga may kamag-anak ho, may kakilala o kaibigan na naandun po sa Maui, ano ba ang safest information po na maaaring sabihin concerning po dito sa mga casualties and missing? Kasi ngayon po iba-iba ang reports eh. Kaya po yung iba na walang contact nababahala nga po kung ano na nangyari sa kanilang mga kamag-anak. Marami ho kasi nga Pilipino doon at pag pumunta ka doon lagi ka makakita ng Pilipino. Opo.
You're correct. The early waves of Filipino immigrants to the state started as early as around 1906. No? Ang tawag sa kanila mga sakadas, those working in the plantations of Hawaii. So generation after generation, palaki ng palaki, they would petition their relatives. But again, we reiterate, meron kaming emergency hotline number if you have to contact us, posted in our website and Facebook page. We also have our email address there. And the consulate continues to monitor situation and stands ready to assist any Filipino national distressed by itong wildfires.
Doon po sa kabuuan ng Maui, ilang porsyento po naman talaga ang totally devastated po, Consul?
Yes. Actually, doon sa isla ng Maui, if you were to look at the map, ang Lahaina, that's located in the western part of the state. It's a small portion, malaki itong isla. But there were 2 other areas in the island of Maui also affected by wildfires. Tinatawag na Pulehu at Kihei. And then they also have another area called Upcountry Maui. Itong Lahaina ang hardest hit dahil dun ang heavily populated businesses, shops, businesses. But if you're to look at the Lahaina as a percentage of the entire island of Maui, maybe 5%. malaki ho itong
Mhm.
itong Maui.
Opo. It's been a long time magmula na ako'y napadpad diyan. Saan ang airport diyan ulit, sir? Saan ang airport diyan mismo sa Maui?
Sa Maui, um,
Oo.
it
Mm.
is yes, there are two airports. May isa on
Mhm.
the west, one on the eastern side.
Mhm.
Uh, so ngayon they're again letting in people, pero dito sa areas that were hit by the fires, they have to show proof of residency. Hindi ka lang basta-basta makapasok. They also want to try to avoid people looting yung mga
Opo.
businesses that have been burnt.
Oo. Opo, sir, hindi ko alam kung meron kayong impormasyon, no? Dito ho sa sinasabi ng ilang mga survivors na nagkulang daw ho sa warning kasi ang iba walang kaalam-alam na may sunog and
Yes.
nalaman lamang nila nung malapit na ang sunog sa kanila.
This is really unfortunately, it took place very early in the morning, no? Madilim pa. And ang nangyari, there was a hurricane, no? Itong Hurricane Dora na dumaan sa Pacific. Hindi directly i-hit ang Hawaii, pero sa lakas ng kanyang hangin, nagtapol ng mga power lines. And these power lines, when they fell, they sparked fires dito sa mga dry vegetation and bushes. At dahil summertime ngayon at coupled with yung low humidity, it resulted in fires. And itong Lahaina, if you were to look at the structures, kahoy yan hindi semento. So it quickly spread, and by the time you know it, others were in their cars trying to evacuate, pero for some there was no way out.
Opo. So totoo din po, sir, na ilang araw ba ho halos yung wildfire?
Yes, yung wildfire nag-umpisa early hours last Wednesday, which was August 8 if I'm not mistaken. So, isang araw, but unti-unti try to contain it as of yesterday. Still not totally contained, but 85 to 90% contained.
Okay, pero sir, ang di ho ba ang Estados Unidos po ay meron ng lagi na mga warning system, emergency warning system na umiiral. Dito ho ba diyan sa pangyayaring 'yan, gumana ho ba ito para magbigay ng babala doon sa mga lugar na na maghanda at magbakwet kasi nga may mga naipit hindi nga daw alam. Gumana ho ba itong inyong early warning system?
Yes, usually they send the information through people's cell phone. May mga yan and radio, television, but because also of the hour, no, and the time it took place, people were asleep. It was not as efficient, and I suppose yung critics are saying that this could be improved and it could be better.
Opo. May pahabol pong tanong lang si Chacha. I hope you don't mind po, Consul. Go ahead,
Yes,
Cha.
Konsul, para po sa mga may kamag-anak sa Maui na nandito sa Pilipinas na hindi po makontak yung kanilang mga kamag-anak sa ibang bansa, saan po sila pwede makipag-ugnayan sa inyo?
Yes, meron ho kaming emergency 24/7 hotline number. Let me give the number. It's plus 1, tapos 808 ang area code, and 253-9446 ang telephone number. We also have our email address, which is honolulu.pcg@dfa.gov.ph.
Oo. Tapos, ano pong tulong ang ibibigay ng ating gobyerno dun sa mga Filipino citizen na apektado dyan po sa wildfire sa Maui?
Thank you for asking that. Yesterday, DFA Undersecretary Ed De Vega of our Office of Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs informed me that we can authorize emergency medical or financial assistance if the subjects, number one, are Filipino citizens, and number two, have no other sources of funding.
Emergency and financial assistance po para sa mga Filipino citizen, tama?
Opo.
Oo. Sir, nasubukan nyo na po ba makaikot doon po sa mga shelters na nabanggit nyo kanina para just to check kung kamusta yung sitwasyon doon ng mga Pilipino mapa US or Filipino citizen man po yan. Basta yung mga kapwa po natin Pinoy na nandiyan dyan.
Yes, last week naglabas ng statement itong Office of the Governor ng Hawaii asking people not to undertake non-essential travel so they could focus mga relief, mga life-saving operations. No? Now that we've received the all clear, I and two other officers and staff will be going to Maui itong Tuesday to ascertain yung situation
Okay.
and
Opo.
out for yung Filipinos.
Opo, ngayon pa na sila pupunta. Sige po. So, Consul, ang binanggit niyo po kanina ay percentage po no nung nung lahi ng mga naandoon sa Maui particularly. Pero sa inyo ho bang meron ba tayo doon mga rehistradong manggagawa? As in mga healthcare workers doon sa lugar na iyon? I'm sure ang lahat ng ating kasi mga manggagawa worldwide ay meron pong registry sa bawat konsulado. Doon ho ba meron?
Yes. Hindi required ang Filipino when pag nadedestina sila abroad, to register in Philippine embassies and consulates. In terms of data, lahat sila kailangan dumaan sa POEA. No?
Oo.
So the POEA should have the data on number of Filipinos at saan sila napupunta.
Wala ba tayong labor attaché na usually po yun din ang may alam sa deployment ng ating mga manggagawa sa Amerika?
In Hawaii, we do not have a labor attaché. Ngayon ang tinatawag a migrant workers office. We do have one, pero they are located in Los Angeles, California. At isa sa jurisdiction nila ay Honolulu, Hawaii. So they're not physically here, but they have jurisdiction over Hawaii.
Opo. So nasa mainland, sa LA po ang...
Opo.
Opo. Pero so far ho, wala kayong ugnayan doon sa ating office in LA to find out kung meron bang rehistradong manggagawa dyan para sa Maui?
Yes, we're also seeking information from them para if they have the data, we could approach and locate them.
Opo. Sige po. Muli kaming tatawag, Consul, pagkatapos po ng inyong biyahe doon, makikibalita ho kami and we hope and pray na wala po tayong kababayan po nadamay po sa sakunang ito. Opo.
Maraming salamat.
Opo. Thank you, Consul General. Thank you very much po. Si Consul General Emilio Hernandez po naman ng Philippine Consulate in Hawaii.
Ted Filon at DJ Chacha. Ngayon, nasa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 a.m.